In the name of the one holy and undivided Trinity, amen. Have a seat. How do you know when you've switched from being a follower to being an apostle? Many of us in this room, especially if we love learning, feel deeply content when we're listening. For those of us for whom school was a joy, which is not all of us, but it was definitely me, it's deeply comforting to be in the receptive position, especially when you're in the hands of a talented teacher or lecturer. It's restful to be able to sit and think, to play with the ideas in your own head, and to go home different and enriched. This is somewhat the same feeling we get at the movies, where we offer up our consciousness for a few hours to be transformed and filled and changed, to be taken away from ourselves. I read a little blog post this week that just said, reading is just staring at a piece of dead wood for hours and hallucinating, which is a little bit true. And it's incredibly relaxing to do so. It takes some energy to switch from doing that to teaching, to being the teacher of that material, or the difference between seeing a movie and making a movie. And that switch, that difference, is not unlike the switch from follower to apostle. And it's the switch we're witnessing in today's gospel reading. Jesus has been preaching for a long time, and he's ready for the people following him around to start becoming the message instead of just listening to it. I took a fantastic pedagogy course in seminary, and one of the things I'll never forget from that class as a universal truth is that you never really learn a subject until someone asks you to teach it. You can kind of fake knowing something. You cannot fake teaching something. So it's possible that this is a leveling up in Jesus' tactics, that he wants the knowledge of this new way of life to be ingrained and embedded in his followers. And the only way to make sure that that happens is to get them to teach it. For at least 70 people, Jesus is saying, it's time. It's time for you to stop reading and start teaching. You have the information you need. You have everything you need. You need very little stuff to do this work. You need yourself and a companion and what you've been taught. A little bit of food. You don't need to be particularly nice. This isn't an effort about niceness. If the message isn't welcome, you shake it off and leave. People aren't ready, that's okay. And what we learn in this gospel reading is that great things happen when we learn this way of life well enough to teach it. The demons will submit to us. Not that that's the goal, Jesus tells us. The work itself should be our reward and not some show-off action. I wonder if this story doesn't reveal to us some of our hesitation to tell people we go to church. Especially here in Seattle, it's unusual to attend church. And we worry that telling people we go to church, much less that we love our church and other people should come, we worry about people's rightful suspicion of Christianity, right? We all know what kind of damage Christianity has done to this world, and that makes us nervous for good reason. I think, too, of smaller acts of violence. There was a pastor in Tennessee a few years ago who started a blog for waiters and waitresses to report their experiences of serving Sunday brunch, the post-church crowd. And he was flooded with stories of harassment, punitive tipping, and outright meanness from the people who had just come from church. And many of the servers said plainly, that is the worst shift of the week. People complain endlessly and leave no tips, and lots of people had just gotten a card with a Bible verse on it instead of a tip. Those servers are watching us. You know, they are learning how Christians are from that interaction. And occasionally, we are our own worst advertisements. But I wonder if there isn't something in that too, this fear that if people knew we were Christian, they would be expecting us to behave better, to be more kind or more generous or more open than we are. And I know that I watch myself more closely with my collar on than off. I'm not particularly proud of this, but it is true. I certainly have a practice of never passing someone asking for change without putting something in their cup if I have my collar on. I have a special budget for just that purpose. Those dollar bills for when I have my collar on. Just literally because of the Good Samaritan story, I can't handle driving or walking past someone as a priest who is hurting on the road. And then they go to sleep in a doorway at night and think the priest literally passed me by. I can't handle it. I don't wear crosses, but maybe you feel that way when you wear a cross. Or maybe this is only a paranoia that I enjoy and is not shared. Maybe you feel better about this than I do. I do want to say something reassuring, though, if you are affected by this worry. That if you tell someone you're a Christian, you're not good enough to live up to that. We've only known each other a little over 1.5 years, but I do know each of you pretty well by now. And I want to reassure you that you are very much good enough. If the thing that is stopping you from switching from follower to teacher, or listener to preacher, is that you're worried you're not good enough. That's just silly. You're fabulous. And no one said that Christians must be perfect. That's not what we're aiming for. It's actually more helpful and inspiring for many to see someone with all their foibles and loose ends hanging out and trying anyway, trying again, than to see a perfect porcelain saint. So I'd invite you to think about it this week, about what you personally would need internally to make the shift from learner to proclaimer, if that isn't something you've taken on already. What would make you feel strong enough, safe enough, good enough, broken enough? And I'd invite you to bring that to God in prayer and just see what happens.